Hello, welcome back to the channel Up the Reds TV with me, Andy. And if you are like the weather outside, miserable, wet, damp, after our performance yesterday, you've every right to be. Okay, so as I always say, please like this one, please share and please subscribe to the channel. It would be a real massive thank you, and thank you for the people that are subscribing to the channel. No doubt again I'll get over 100 views on this one because Liverpool have lost. That seems to be the case on here, but let's do the constructive criticism on this one. Okay, post-match it is. Brentford 3, Liverpool 2. Liverpool have now lost 4 successive Premier League games on the bounce. I didn't think I'd be saying that this season, but yeah, it is what it is. So let's have a look at the game. Liverpool started by giving away 2 cheap throw-ins. The first one that we dealt with, after a couple of minutes. The second one on the 4th minute has to go down to Bradley. I mean, Canate gave him the pass. Bradley had plenty of time to control that pass. He wasn't cold. He'd had a warm-up. He'd gone in the changes. He'd come out. He's done his little sprints. And he controlled the ball. I expect an under 10s player to control. Goes out for a throw-in. Unlike the first one, we didn't deal with this one. Ekitike gets out jumped, ball gets flicked on, and here's the issue I have. It's not Kirkes' position, but as the ball is flicked on, he looks at the player rather than looking at the ball. If he looked at the ball, he would have had a better chance of getting it cleared. 1-0 on the back foot before 5 minutes. Unacceptable again. 8 minutes, Salah has a weak shot straight at the keeper when yet again players are in a better position for a pass. 10 minutes, gap post pass to Salah. Looks like it's a heavy one. Not really. Salah's first touch is heavy, and Kelleher gathers it at his feet. We start to play a bit of football in and around the box. Kirkes receives a ball inside the box and he lashes it with his left foot, and he lashes it across the ball and it goes out wide. Gakpo goes down looking for a penalty. Too easy for me. Instead of passing a shooting, which he had a chance to do, he went down. We talk about dark arts. That wasn't a very good dark art by him, and that was another opportunity missed. 26 minutes, Kirkes breaks into the box. Poor straight cross into Kelleher's arms. Easy for him to gather when we had players in the box waiting. 33 minutes, Kirkes picks up a booking because he loses out to a ball and he drags somebody back. 39 minutes, Mohamedashvili makes a great save, powering the ball from a great shot. 40 minutes, Jones has a shot again. Straight, poor, weak effort straight into Kelleher's arm. On 43 minutes, what I did was I take notes now as the game's going on. We began to look tired. The passes weren't going to feet anymore. We were trying to keep hold of the ball too long. And on 44 minutes, that's exactly what it has. 3 players trying to do a little triangle pass. Ekitike gives it away. Brentford player who I can't remember, passes a great through ball. Konate's out of position. When I say he's out of position, he really is out of position. No way is he catching their forward, who incidentally got his second goal of the evening. He races through, probably just like the Ekitike goal the other night. And I was a bit disappointed that Mohamedashvili only came out towards his 6-yard line when really he should have been. If that was Alisson would have tried and come out, make the player guess. Mohamedashvili just stayed on his 6-yard line, and look, it was a simple goal to score 2-0 to Brentford, and they deserved to be 2-0 ahead. And then we get a lifeline just before half line. Wirtz finds Bradley, who crosses into the ball across. Ekitike gets a flick on the ball. It kindly drops for Kirkes, who buries the ball, and it's half time, and it's 2-1. Second half, the Reds started poorly, constantly giving the ball away. Mo Salah was the culprit throughout the game today in doing that. Poor decision making, leads to a free kick given outside by the referee, who's less than 2 yards away from the incident, so he sees it. Then VAR intervenes and tells the referee it's on the line. Pen awarded. Never a pen in it. It was outside the box. And guess who was on VAR? Chris Kavanagh. How he deems that foul to be on the line when it's clearly outside, and it's an absolute pathetic decision. However, penalty given, they score 3-1. Our backs are up against it because they have a few more chances, don't they? Brentford throughout the game. Really, if I'm honest with you, a 4 or 5-1 scoreline would not have been a bad result for them. Salah has a shot blocked by an ex-Liverpool pro, Vandenberg. And then what I can just call is deja vu happening with Onslaught on the sidelines. Gakpo, Bradley, Kirkes off. McAllister, Chiezo, Robbo on. Szoboszlai reverts, who's Liverpool's best player in midfield, him and Curtis Jones, reverts to right back. 69 minutes, Jones is off injured. Another groin injury to our added list of players that are injured. 76 minutes, Ekitike has a shot that goes wide. Wirtz goes off. Ungamo comes on. Another absolutely strange decision for me. And then finally Gomez comes on, and then at right back, and then Dom Szoboszlai goes back into midfield. 88 minutes, good work from Dom Szoboszlai to get the ball from the right. He crosses in and he picks out Salah, who controls and fires the ball into the roof of the net. At this point, we've got 10 minutes of injury time. It was 7, but obviously it had to be 10 because one of their players went down in the box. And look, well played to Brentford. Their work rate and endeavour, they fully deserved the win in this one, and you have to give credit where credit's due. So I listened to the Onslaught press conference, not when he goes and sits down, one that he does straight away after when TNT shove a mic under his nose. He said played okay for 30 minutes of the game, from 5 minutes onwards, and the last 5 minutes, but nothing in between. He said we didn't do the basic passing well. Football is about scoring and not conceding, and we are conceding far too many. So yeah, I just wanted to just pick that out. He does do a bit more on that, but I'm just going to leave that for another day. Let's talk about the players, shall we? Mamardashvili could have done something better for the second goal, and getting his angles right. For the first one, he couldn't really do much about it. Didn't know which way the ball was going to go. People are talking about his kicking's not very good. He's kicking balls out rather than going to players. And I get the old saying that, look, he's probably kicking balls out because there's no other options, and he's getting the easy option out. But that just puts Liverpool back on the back foot, doesn't it? Because it's another set piece to deal with. Conor Bradley, silly mistake to do to let get the ball out for a throw in. He did okay as the first half grew. Second half, he was getting outpaced because we were trying to play a bit of a high line. Brentford worked that out, so they were playing the longer ball. It's dead simple, this game of football. Honestly, when you watch it, it's dead simple. So he got taken off. I'd have kept him on me personally. Kirkes, a lot of stick's been given to Kirkes, especially on socials, especially by the pundits as well. I just want to say this is a 21-year-old player who is not playing to his potential like he did at Bournemouth, because he's been asked to do a different job. However, the person that's letting him down at the moment is Virgil van Dijk, because Virgil van Dijk gave him 4 passes in the first half that he had to deal with. And 3 of those passes, he gave the ball away because he was under pressure, because of the pass he gave to, he was receiving from Van Dijk. Van Dijk put him in those positions. Van Dijk didn't give him an option, and yet Van Dijk was berating him through the match. One thing I'd say to Virgil van Dijk, you're dealing with a player that's 21 years old. He will bed in. He needs time to bed in. Robbo was exactly the same when he came in. So were all the other left backs that have played for the football club. I suggest to Virgil van Dijk, encouragement may be the best option rather than berating somebody like you were doing, especially in that first half. Just talking about Van Dijk, I said he gave a captain's performance midweek. He certainly has not given the captain's performance in this game. In fact, he reverted back to not giving Liverpool the performance that they deserved, and it was poor from him. Honestly, it was. His performance, to say he's captain of the players of this team, was piss poor in my eyes. And I saw his interview afterwards where he says we have to look at ourselves, and especially me, in the mirror. So let's hope he does do that. Canate outrun for their second goal, out of position. You can blame him for that, but he should never have been put in that situation. He never recovered in time, and he had a bit of an okay game. I thought Jones was very good when he had Dom Slobosly next to him, and he started getting tired at the back end of the first half. You could see that. As I said on 43 minutes, we looked tired, we looked jaded. Maybe the efforts from Wednesday night caught up with the players, and if they did, you can see that they put in a good shift on Wednesday, but this game might have come a day too soon because of the travelling and whatever, but I thought he played well. And then obviously he goes down on 69, doesn't he? And picks up his groin injury because of the amount of running around he was having to do. And because Brentford were very good on the counter-attack. Dom Slobberslime, man of the match. Yet again, he's been our star player this season. And I feel sorry for him. Honestly do. To be put, when we're chasing a game, to make changes and then for him to go to right back, when we have Joey Gomez on there, it's criminal, really. And I'll touch on Slot in a moment. Wirtz was okay, got caught out a few times. He tried to get involved, but, it just didn't happen for him in this game. As again, might have been that this game was caught up with him from Wednesday's game. Ekatike had a very quiet game. He wasn't holding up the ball, wasn't dropping in. Maybe he was told to stay up and not drop so deep because we didn't have any options when he got the ball. He was trying to fight their centre halves and he got outgunned, really. And Cody Gakpo, I'd have kept him on the pitch because he did play really well the other night, and he got taken off with Kirkis and Robbo. And for me, it's another baffling decision. He should have been kept on. And Mo Salah. I think enough's been said about Mo Salah, and by me. Another awful game, really was. We can talk about his goal, but we were losing at that point. It's in between the goals that he's the great man. He's just not delivering at all. So this is another poor game that he's had for Liverpool this season. So I think enough said about him, because it's getting a bit boring now on that front with me. So here are my thoughts for after watching them last night, after watching them midweek, and after watching them against United. 2 losses, both in the Premier League in a week. 4 losses on the bounce in the Premier League. 1 win in the Champions League. This squad of players cannot play 3 games in a week. They can barely play 1 game in a week without getting a result in the Premier League. So there's massive issues there. This head coach, he cannot find the answers to the problems that we are seeing in the last 4 Premier League games. He keeps making the same mistakes in bringing on players and taking players out of position. I'm not just saying that. There's a lot of people now are saying that. We're having group chats about it, and the chat is about Onslaught. And you know what I said in my last video? I don't want him sacked. I want him to sort it out, because Liverpool don't do things like that. But with a performance like that yesterday, after the midweek win, you can see why people are talking about what they're talking about. As I said, I don't want to get involved in that conversation, because we need him to come through these choppy waters with this squad, and we're in what's the word? Uncharted waters. We've not been like this for a few years, and we've hit a stumbling block, and we need Onslaught to find him, get it sorted ASAP, or else there'll be a bit of a resurgent, more people talking about him. What's I didn't make a video last night straight after the game because I couldn't believe what I was witnessing, plus it was too late, and it's always best to go and sleep on things, and that's what I did. And one of the things that concerned me as you are going over the game in your head from last season to this season, you're tossing and turning, you want to say the right things about the right personnel, and I think I've done that constructively all season, and I will always tell you when a player's playing badly and when a player has improved. But the thing that got to me last night and when I woke up and had me brekkie this morning was that we won the Premier League probably at a canter, but the defence of the Premier League, we've given the title away before Guy Falkes night, and that's the disappointing thing to me. People say, look at the table, look how many games we've got to play, look what's happening. We've lost 4 on the bounce. You know, that is not Premier League winning team, is it? That is not a Premier League team that won the title last season. And so my honest opinion is we're not going to retain the Premier League because we are not good enough this season for number of reasons. I always say to you guys that I always look where we are after 10 games. Now that 10th game will be against Villa at home next Saturday at 8 o'clock. We're 9 games now. We've got Crystal Palace in midweek, and before we get to that 10th game, we will be down in 8th or 9th position, maybe a bit lower than that if teams have played before us, before we play our game against Villa. So this is a sombre one. This is one for you guys to think about as well. You're going to hear a lot of not rubbish. You're going to hear a lot of opinions being made about where it's going wrong for Liverpool, and you're going to hear pundits start talking about onslaught. It's the nature of football. That's how it is. I've watched a lot of football, man and boy, and this one's hurting a bit because of the way we're playing, the way that the head coach is making decisions that are not going well for us. We're hearing the same old rhetoric at preview press conferences and post-match press conferences. The manager, when he talks about the Crystal Palace game, probably say that he's not got enough time in this hectic period to do something different on the training pitch because it's one game every 3 days. Players need 1 day's rest and then they go again. So yeah. Just on onslaught. When I started coaching my lad's team when he was under 8s, I started doing Saturday soccer school, and then they were looking for somebody to run the team. So I raised my hand. I thought I can do this, but I needed to get a couple of assistants, and those assistants would have been were parents of other boys that were coming down to the soccer school, and we set up a team. And one of my assistants, Marco, I asked him if he would do it, and he said yes, he would. And I remember him saying to me, look, you be the good guy and I'll be the bad guy. Okay, you be the good cop, I'll be the bad cop. I never understood what he meant by that. And it was only when we stopped playing and we were going out for a drink, I sort of like asked him that question. I said, what did you actually mean by that? He said, look, he said, you're going to take a lot of flack and whatever, you know, and I'll try and diffuse it and things like that, you know, without you having to worry about it. So I said, right. And he also said, you know, I'll be telling you, which he did do, which was one of the important things he said. He said, I'd be telling you where you're going wrong as your assistant. We need to do things differently. And do you know what? He said that on more than a few occasions, you know, at the 7 years that we were together. And yeah, like I say, he did that on more than a few occasions. And do you know what? Maybe Arnslot's assistants need to tell him, you know, or maybe he needs to tell them, this is not working in training. We need to do something different. But yeah, just thought I'd just give you that little tidbit. Probably non-interesting to you guys, but it's just something I want to just share with you because it's just come to me on my mind. I am going to the Crystal Palace game on Wednesday, so I'll do a preview of that on Tuesday. That'll be interesting after Arnslot's press conference, and I hope he does do one. So there will be no post-match on Wednesday for the Crystal Palace game. It's I'll do it on Thursday. I'm actually off Wednesday and Thursday, which is great, so I can give you my true opinions and feelings about that. What I will say to end this video, me personally, I think it's going to get worse before it gets better. That's the feeling I have at the moment in the Premier League. Okay, please like, please share, please subscribe if it's the first time that you are watching this channel. And I will speak to you guys on Tuesday. Up the Reds.